Happy Monday, beautiful people. We are on the last week of September. I can't believe how quickly September went by, but boy, can I tell you, the energy for this month, it kicked my butt for real. But it also served me the opportunity to process what areas I'm still in pain, emotionally in pain from, and what areas need to be catered more, So the thing about going through going through a few days of darkness, is that you are allowed the opportunity to dig deeper into your shadow self, right? The shadow self is usually the self that is in pain, that it's still in that traumatized state of mind where the self is just struggling to move forward, right? And so I have had the opportunity to basically drown in my sorrows, but also reignite my fuel to do these videos, right? And so what I wanted to make this video about was boundaries. I have made videos on boundaries about in the past, and I have constantly mentioned how important it is to reaffirm our boundaries, to create boundaries, to learn about boundaries, because it truly does make a difference, especially when you start your healing journey. You're gonna start realizing that you need boundaries in order to heal the way you wish to heal. And so with that being said, I wanted to share a quick story of me recently, yesterday actually, to be very exact. I ended up getting triggered, and this time I was quick to realize that certain people still hold a certain level of power over me, in the sense of emotional power over me. Because the thing about me is that, I'm not the only one. It sounds cliche at this point to say it, but I love hard, right? So when I love people, I love them so hard to the point that I tend to overlook their wrongdoings, because I can see who they truly are. Even, just because you do something bad or wrong, that doesn't necessarily make you the worst person in the world. There are exceptions before anyone is like, yeah, I don't think that's true. But aside from any worst case scenario exceptions that I'm sure I would agree with you on, when it comes to things that can have a solution, or can be forgiven, or can be not necessarily overlooked, but you can be like, you know what, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, or I'll give you a second chance type of ish, then there can be a solution, right? However, I realized that as I got triggered, I realized that I was giving my power away. And that's one of the most annoying things to realize when it comes to self-awareness, when it comes to our healing journey, accepting when we are triggered and who we are being triggered by, because we know deep down they don't deserve even a drop of any emotion that comes from us, whether good or bad. It's just, there's no need to give away our time or energy to someone who may be casually living their life and thinking they've done nothing wrong. And so I realized that I quickly got triggered. I immediately felt this anger in my chest, in my heart, and I don't like feeling like that, because I like to believe that I am healing and I don't hold resentment or grudges, but I'm human. I do that. I tend to do that. And so the problem with this scenario was that it involves a person that I deal with on a daily basis, and their person that they themselves don't like to deal with. And so this person that I deal with on a daily basis was like, hey, so-and-so is going to stop by to drop something off. And as simple as that message may have sounded to many of you, it was enough to set fuel to the fire in me. I got angry. I lost my shit. Not that I threw a tantrum, but I was just spitting words, right? And my mom was there. I was at my mom's house, and my mom's aware of the situation. So, of course, being who she is, she was like, don't worry about it. Calm down. Like, I understand your frustration, but don't waste your energy, I'll handle it. And that made me even more angry. Not because she said it, but because this is why I didn't want to deal with the situation, because now I have to involve my mom. Not that I have to, because I could have been a bigger person and sucked it up, but that's how triggered I am by this person that I rather not see them. And even though I saw them recently, it just confirmed that I don't have the need to want to be around them, you know, especially after they showed me their true colors. I just don't have the desire, you know, like if I could prevent it, I will. And so what got me mad, aside from all of this, was the fact that this person that I deal with on a daily basis thought it was easy for them to be like, you know what, you deal with it. And that broke a boundary, because this person even has boundaries with the person that they were sending my way. So it's like, for me, in my logical mind, was, if you yourself can't deal with this person, and this person is even closer to you and is the closest to you than I will ever be, because I'm literally nothing to them, what makes you think I want to deal with them? And so I got angry. I had my brother with me, who was just, you know, helping me cheer up. And, you know, as angry as I also was catching my own shit, right? I realized that, yeah, I could throw a tantrum all I want. I could get angry all I want. But really, who's the only person exerting their energy right now? Me. You know, the two persons involved are literally not wasting their energy right now. They thought it was easy to have me as the middleman and deal with their transaction than they having the balls, if I'm honest, to see each other, right? And so it got me upset that my boundary was crossed, because I have been constantly reaffirming this boundary with this specific person. You know, I have no obligation to see this person. They have a relationship with the person I deal with on a daily basis. They have a relationship with my children, but not me, you know. And the problem with this specific person is that they act delusional. They act like nothing's wrong, and they act that just because you are in the same room as them, then everything's back to normal. And that's just not how I function. That's not who I am. And it doesn't mean that I can't be in the same room as them. As I said, I have been. It's just that I'm not gonna pretend that everything was okay when a conversation never happened, right? So for me, it wasn't just the person that was texting me this. It was the other person that is like, all right, you know that we're not cool. You know that I definitely don't want you in my mom's house, because my mom is the nicest person in the world and she doesn't know how to say no. So it's the constant reminder that, like, some people just don't care. Some people are truly, sincerely forgetful because it benefits them. Not even because they have a problem with their mind, but because it benefits them to be forgetful. And so, as mad as I was, I decided to process my emotions, my feelings, and everything before heading my way to see the person that texted me this. And once I arrived, I was like, you know, that's not cool. So while they texted me, I immediately replied, like, not cool, but I'll deal with it. But when I saw them in person, I was like, look, what you did was not cool. You know what you did. And then you try to flip it and reverse it as if, because you did me a simple favor that had nothing to do with what was happening, this person tried to be like, oh, I did this, so now you can do me this favor. But it's like, it's not a favor because you didn't ask me. You automatically sent the person my way, didn't let me know of a time. So, like, it was messed up. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was messed up, and you did wrong. And I was pissed off. I was pissed off earlier in the day. But I have calmed down to be able to tell you this. So I hope that you don't take this with a grain of salt and realize that what you did was wrong. And of course, this person was like, yeah, I know, but I just wasn't, I wasn't in the mood to see them. But I'm like, what makes you think that I was, like, you're lucky that you are you, because I would have literally flipped you off because you did something that broke a boundary, right? That crossed a boundary. And so what I wanted to talk about boundaries and just overall is that before anyone who watches this video goes ahead and thinks, or anyone who who's being shown this video thinks that it's easy to just set a boundary or be the bigger person or ignore the person or just not talk to this person anymore. It's not that simple. There are people that we see on the daily basis that we just have to interact for whatever reason it may be. You just have to interact with this person. And so that I have certain people that's how it is. And so in order to keep my own peace, I set these boundaries in order to be able to sustain that connection that must be present, at least at the moment, right? And so it was a reminder to not exert my energy. It's a reminder to you to not exert your energy when you're being triggered, because you will only drain yourself. It's a constant reminder and a constant proof that I've been shown over and over again that when I get triggered, the people who are triggering me are indeed chilling. They are not losing their ish like I am. And so I come here to say, reaffirm your boundaries. If you need to recreate a new boundary because the first one wasn't understood, do it. If you need to put an end or take a break from this person or persons, do it. But do it in a way that you're super, super, super clear. And once again, your boundaries will continue to get tested because that is part of life. Especially when you're dealing with people who lack the understanding of respecting a boundary. Again, we have free will. We choose who we want to put up with. But it shouldn't minimize the fact of how hard it is to set a boundary in the first place, especially when you weren't brought up to even know what the word boundary is, especially when you grow up in a household where no boundaries are respected, where there is no privacy, where everybody knows about everybody's lives. It's hard to start setting boundaries with people who will constantly resist respecting it. And so when you reaffirm your boundary, do it in a way that is clear to you, is clear to them, and that if that boundary is not respected, that there will be consequences. Not a punishment, because the people who tend to set boundaries as well, including myself in the beginning, I used to set boundaries to punish the other person. I used to be like, X, Y, and Z it can't happen anymore. If not, I'm gonna disappear or never talk to you again. And even if it was true, it didn't necessarily solve anything, because what good does it serve me if I stop talking to a person and nothing got solved? Or even if nothing gets solved, like, what good does it do to create more punishment when you're going to have to be the one working to make sure that punishment is being received? Make sense? So don't see it as a punishment, even though the people who tend to break those boundaries will see it as such. But more so see it as an opportunity to give yourself the time to calm down, to process your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your needs, your wants, your demands. Use that time, because I don't like calling it a timeout, but it's just so easy to use it as a reference. Like, give yourself a timeout, give yourself that space to figure out how you want to move forward when a boundary is crossed. Because when we navigate from an emotional state of mind, we may think that we are explaining ourselves. We may think that we are getting our point across, but we're not. We're just adding more fuel to our own fire that the others may have started, but we continue to add more fuel because we're getting so emotional that we drain ourselves and we get nothing resolved at the end of the day. So reaffirm your boundaries. If a boundary gets crossed, like I was trying to say, use that time to put yourself to the side and see how you want to move forward with this person or persons, right? If it gets to the point that a boundary is constantly being crossed and you're getting tired of setting a consequence, then it's time to reevaluate that place that they tend to have so firm in your life, right? Whether they put themselves there forcefully in your life or whether you hold a strong position of them in your life, it's time to be honest with ourselves and be like, okay, can I continue reaffirming boundaries? And if not, do I need to let them go? And in doing so, you will find more clarity. And is it easy to let go of people? No. But it's important for our own sanity, for our own well-being. Especially when you're in the healing journey, you're going to want to be around people who truly get you, who truly respect your boundaries, who see you for who you are, who don't use your past against you or the negative against you. You know, we all are human beings. We all tend to come with flaws and all. But the more we heal, the more we just want to be around people who truly love us, who truly are there, who is there for us. And if not, we prefer to be alone, because we know that alone, we can be who we are, right? And so with that being said, I hope this video helped. I hope my story kind of makes sense. It was a little bit all over the place, but I always try to be respectful when I tell my stories, even if they occurred to me. I'm here to just speak my truth. I'm not here to bring anybody else involved in my stories down. I'm just here to speak my truth and hopes that it serves you, the viewer who's watching it. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful, beautiful day.